Chinese Sweet Plum. It's a lovely species and it makes a fantastic bonsai. So let's find out how to grow it. The Chinese Sweet Plum, or the Sageretia theezans, that's its correct name, makes a lovely bonsai for many reasons. One of which is the fact that it's very easy to grow, very easy to care for. That makes it great for beginners as well as people like myself. I love it because there's always plenty to do, and it does make these lovely foliage pads like that. So this one here is developing quite nicely, and just doing a bit of delicate pruning just to maintain the shape. It responds very well to being pruned. These little shoots here, these new shoots like this, and there's one here. I just go around and prune those back, and I'll do some close-ups in a minute so you can see exactly what it is that I'm doing. And I just go around on a regular basis and just trim it back to shape. And it just keeps sending out new buds, new shoots all of the time. And that's lovely because the new shoots, these lovely glossy green leaves. And certain times of the year, and we're just getting there now, and this one here is showing it. And again, I'll do some close-ups. You've got these lovely sort of reddy blush colours coming through, which is fantastic. So we'll carry on going around, and sometimes you get a little crisscrossing branch that's managed to sneak through. So it's starting from one side of the branch, sneaking through the centre of the tree, and will eventually just come out the other side. But what I really want to do is to keep the foliage that's growing from this space here, from this part of the branch, just here. So this one here is quite long. I'm going to take him back to there, like that. And any little shoots like that take off as well. It's not particularly fussy about where it's kept. In England, we class it as an indoor bonsai because it's not frost hardy, so it can stay outside during the summer months, the warmer parts of the year, in a shady spot, a shelter spot in the garden away from strong winds. But generally, when it's inside, just a bright position, and so you get some good daylight. And like all indoor bonsai, we have to be careful of south-facing windows through the summertime because that can get very hot, and the tree, the bonsai, will dry out very quickly. So somewhere maybe just away from the south-facing window, just in a bit out of the main sun, or if you've got an east or west or even north-facing during the summertime, that's fantastic. I'm just going to prune this twig here, this shoot, back to about here, because he's sort of crossing over, and behind, and it opens it up a little bit. Some nice little leaves in there. So I'm just going to take him out, sharp pair of scissors, pruning back to there, and the end of this one here. And we'll get some new buds coming through here, some smaller ones. Now you can see this leaf here. This is an older one, and that's why it started to turn yellow, and that will drop off soon. And that's a result because this has already been pruned. There would have been a shoot growing out here. It's been pruned back, and new buds will start to form. So the new growth will take over, and the older shoots, the older leaves further down the branch, will eventually just drop off. And it could, after a while, they can look a little bit unsightly, so you can just sort of pinch those off like so. So here's a small shoot, and just going to take the very tip of this one off. I want this grow, the ones back here, some buds around here, don't really want them to come out this way any further, so just very small part there. There's a large leaf here, just going to trim back. That tidies up the underside of that pad quite nicely. Okay, that's enough on this one. It's looking lovely. Lots of lovely little twigs in there. That's great. So what I'll do is just swap this one over and then we'll just have a look at another one. So this one's a little bit younger and still got a nice shape coming on. We've got a bit of growth, a bit more development to do around about the top here, but that's something to look forward to. I really love this trunk and the way that the trunk goes down into the ground. He's got these lovely roots. I love this root creeping down here. It's lovely. This trunk is a little bit green, a bit of algae growing around there. And this is part of the maintenance of bonsai. And I've got a little tool down here, you might recognise it, just a trusty old toothbrush. So what I do with some fresh water, just give that a little scrub, and we get the colour of the bark coming through it, and the colour of the sweet plum. The bark is lovely. Get some lovely reds and browns. So just give it a little scrub. And I do this with all of my bonsai. I try to do it at least once a year. Ideally, probably do it once a month. But I've got quite a few, so I don't get to do this sort of thing as much as I should. But it does make a huge difference. And that'll dry and we'll see those lovely reds coming through. You can see here a little bit of bark has flaked off. We've got this lovely buffy beigey colour, which is lovely because after a while, as these get older, start to build up a nice mottling effect on the bark, on the trunk here. So that's lovely. I love this character here. So this one's coming along quite nicely. Nice little pad out here, and like I said, that'll grow up there a little bit. So pop that one back. And those are good. This one here is desperate for a prune. Nice and bushy. This is the one that has the lovely shoots. You can see the lovely colours on there. Again, it's got a nice start, a nice thick start to the bonsai down here. A really good feature with the bonsai is to have a nice thick sturdy trunk that gradually tapers up to a nice sort of point at the top. Quite a lot of pruning to do on this one, so I'm just going to go through and prune it and you can watch. This is the sort of tree which is ideal for people to start off with. Not overly expensive to buy, but great fun. Lots to do. And if you've got little ones, little shoots like this, growing off the trunk, and we could use it to grow a new branch by leaving it to grow out there, but we've got one here. So just going to remove that one there. We don't want too many main branches, just a few. So that's a bit better. A few lovely little new shoots up here, like that. A lovely little S-shaped trunk, but now we can see a lot more of the actual shape of the bonsai. There we go. So that's just a basic trim up, basic prune. And this one here could do with a little bit of a trunk clean as well. It's got a little bit of green algae on there. So that could do with a bit of a scrub. So that's a bit of the pruning. We talked about the positioning and keeping it in shape. So what we'll do now is we'll talk about the watering and some fertilizing and things like that. Watering. It is the most important part of growing a bonsai. It is so important to make sure that the root ball, this bit down here, never dries out. If it dries out totally, the tree can get very stressed very quickly, especially on hot days. So we need to avoid that. We need to make sure that the soil is just damp. So it's going from wet, when we've just watered it, to just damp. And when the soil feels just damp, like a cloth, you soak the cloth and then wrung it out really well. You've got that damp feeling. That's how the soil should feel just before you water it again. So it's going from wet to just damp, okay, but not dry. That's really important. We mustn't keep the soil totally wet all of the time because the roots will start to rot. So we're going to water it, then we check it. So I'm going to water it now. Let's grab a watering can. Here we go. And I'm watering it all over, nice and evenly. And as you can see, the soil goes a lot darker when it's wet, which is also a good thing to keep an eye on. And I keep doing that. Now with indoor bonsai, you will need a tray underneath it because gradually the water will run down through the root ball and there's some holes in the bottom of the bonsai pot and you don't want to get water everywhere. Outside, not a problem, of course. So I'll just keep watering this and gradually we'll see some. I haven't got a tray and that way you can see when the water starts to pour out of the bottom there. Okay, so that's the watering. Next, a bit of feeding. And it's also really important to give your bonsai, whether it's a sweet plum or an elm, it's all the same, some bonsai food. And this has all the necessary ingredients in there to keep the bonsai really nice and healthy. And this particular one, this is our own, and this is great. I use this on my bonsai, and I literally just mix up a little bit once a week and go through and water with some of this in the water. So all the instructions are on there, so that's important. And this one here has got quite a lot of pruning to do as well. It's a beautiful tree. It's got a lovely S-shaped trunk there. It's got some gnarly barks looking good, some interesting roots going on here. Now we've also got some shoots going, sort of coming out of here. And of course we could grow out another branch and change the shape a little bit, but I'm not going to do that. And I'm just going to prune these off. Just go round because I love the roots on this. Really interesting. It's like an exposed root style where the soil has been eroded away and the roots have come out and displayed nicely. So go through and just prune off that. There's lots of pruning to do on this one, so I'm going to go through and do that. Oh, water's starting to creep out of the bottom now. Got a nice big puddle under there. So indoor bonsai, put them on a drip tray. Misting your bonsai with some clean water a few times a week is a great idea, especially when the central heating's on and the air can get quite dry indoors. So give it a little puff over with some fresh water. That just keeps the leaves nice and moist, and it's a bit like having the morning dew that it would get outside. So you can see there it looks all nice and shiny as well, so that looks lovely. And that'll help keep it healthy. And another thing which is also really good is this is our bonsai mist. This is like a foliar feed just to help maintain its health, and it does help deter pest as well, like greenfly and things like that. So this I just give a little puff over once a week. Let me show you on some dry leaves like that. Once a week with that, and that's another way of keeping them nice and healthy. So that's some bonsai mist there. So puff over with some just plain water, a little mister like that. That's fantastic for keeping your indoor bonsai nice and healthy. So let's just recap about the Chinese Sweet Plum. It has the most amazing foliage. You get the light green leaves, your dark green leaves, and it gets those lovely reddy brown leaves as well. So you get a fantastic array of colours. It's great for styling into just about any type of style for bonsai. Informal upright, formal upright. You can do group planting, so it's suitable for all sorts of things. It's great for being pruned, so you can just keep pruning and it just keeps sending out new shoots as well. So it's one of those trees which is quite nice for beginners. It's an excellent tree to look after, very easy to look after, but because it's growing quite fast, there's always something to do, which is lovely when you're starting out on bonsai, and you can see it grow and evolve quite quickly. It has lovely bark, lovely colours in the bark, and after a while, it sort of gets a little bit older, the bark starts to just peel off in little strips and it rolls back, and then it reveals a lovely buffy colour underneath, which after a period of time goes darker, and the whole process is repeated. So that's lovely, and you really do get some lovely shapes with this tree. Makes a superb bonsai. And don't forget those little fruits as well, those little tiny plum-like fruits, and that's lovely to see. I think they are edible, although I don't recommend eating them. I think they taste pretty horrible. So that's the Chinese Sweet Plum, the Sageretia theezans. I think it makes a beautiful bonsai, fantastic for people wanting to keep something indoors, and I think I might get one myself. If you'd like to see me working on this one, here, this little chap, this is the sort of thing I think is fantastic for people starting out with. It's a nice size already. It's got a little bit of shape there and a little bit of interest, but I'm going to be doing a bit of work on this in my next video, just teasing it out, doing a bit of repotting, a little bit of pruning and things like that. So if you would like to see that video, subscribe, hit the notifications button, and then you're not going to miss out. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it interesting and of help. But for now, take care. Here are a couple of those little plum-like fruits I was telling you about before. And as you can see, they're nice and small, which keeps them in proportion with the rest of the bonsai. Look at the lovely colours of this foliage. Beautiful. These are the new shoots growing after the branch has been pruned. I find watering to be quite therapeutic. I love watching the water just flow down the trunk and drip from the branches. Enjoy growing your bonsai and take care.